for what just happened, that blackout. We had a power outage here in Great Texas at this Hilton. And you know what? Things happen. Technology doesn't always work, and sometimes generators don't work either. So you have to pardon the ability that we didn't have to completely stream, and my inability to completely talk right now. It's super hot. So bear with us. I know we're live, but we appreciate you sticking with us as we're interviewing this wonderful gentleman here from Wyoming, talking about all the things we've been discussing, especially in gun reform and just pro-rights. We were just sitting here talking specifically about a certain circumstance that's really interesting to me that I really wanted to know. What was your desire and how did it happen and why did it happen to go from activism to Congress? What made that dynamic change and that shift in you?
Well, and I think when we were talking a little bit about my activism first,
yes.
So I want people to understand that, because then they'll see a big drive there.
Yes.
Of why you got to go after the powers that be.
Yeah.
So what we had was a situation where in Cheyenne, where a young man was defending his sister, and there was thugs breaking in the front door. They broke the glass out. His 14-year-old sister was actually trying to keep one of the hands off the deadbolt. He went outside to retrieve a gun from the vehicle and told the two thugs to leave. One of them probably saw what was happening. He took off, but the one was so head on. I'm going to get in that door, and he ends up getting shot. And to put him down before he gets in the door, and he gets at his 14-year-old sister and her friend that were in the house. This turned into a case against the young man, 21 years old, that I think he did what anybody would do.
Absolutely.
And it turned into a jury case, and I saw little blurbs of it in the newspaper, and I had to go knock on the door myself and ask, hey, what happened here? Because what was in the paper wasn't necessarily the whole story.
Absolutely.
It was just, hey, this guy's going down because he did this, instead of telling the whole story. And that was so wrong. Now, I will tell you, the jury actually knew what was happening, and they let him off. They acquitted him. I was so mad that it was a Republican prosecutor, a guy that ran on all the same values that Republicans say they cherish. And I ended up calling this guy in multiple cases. That I started watching him. I publicly called him scot-free Omar, because he would let the criminals go.
Yeah.
But if you defended yourself against a criminal, he's going after you, because that's a much easier case. You have gun code that says if you do such and such with a gun, right? Yeah. But it also is meant to be tied to intent.
Yeah.
They ignore the intent.
Of course.
So that said, that really got me involved. I couldn't believe this was happening in Wyoming.
Yeah.
I could see it happen in California.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say New York, California.
New York, California, and any of the liberal holdouts. That's what really got me involved, and that's how I decided. I made a decision to start a gun organization, pro-gun organization. As I got deeper into it, and I worked with legislators, and I saw what kind of battles they had on the inside with leadership, that's where I started doing a transition. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to cause my senator political pain when I ran against him.
Yeah.
But I think as I really started pulling the veil back, I saw there's a need to have someone in here that will fight for the people.
Yeah.
So now we've got to transition from state legislature to Congress. And what I really see is people that run and have all these great intentions, but they've never fought that fight on the inside or on the outside. They've never actually stepped up locally, somewhere, and said, hey, I'm sick and tired, I'm not going to take it anymore. And I mean, I really feel like I'm that guy. I'm that guy that's done that. And so this transition to Congress is, I think, much different than most people. Most people go to Congress and they go there and they represent Congress to their electorate. And look, I've taken positions that aren't popular. When COVID hit, my daughter, she came down with this virus in 2017, and we had to take her out of Cheyenne Hospital and bring her to Children's Hospital. She's going to die.
Oh, man.
Within 4 hours of us being there, they said, we want to give her something unconventional. It's to treat malaria. They gave her hydroxychloroquine, CPAC, and steroids. And she was in ICU for 4 days. We moved out we were there 8 days. She moved out in 4 days, I think it was. She moved over into a regular room. But I think what's most important, when we moved back into, we transitioned back over to real time, and we saw President Trump saying hydroxychloroquine worked. I went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been there, done that.
Yep.
And by the way, I'm not just the guy that goes in. I mean, by this time it was dire. I mean, my daughter could have died.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you have to explore all your options at that point.
When they came in the room, I'm doing internet searches.
Yeah.
I found back in 2017, September 2017, I'm sitting there in the hospital room, right, with my daughter. My wife and I were there, and we actually were searching the internet. They said, hey, we were going to do this. Guess what I found? 2005. They knew this because people that went through SARS, if they were taking hydroxychloroquine for another autoimmune disease, they actually bypassed all the storm.
Yeah.
So the body doesn't know how to react, so it overreacts.
Yeah.
And that's the basis of what was going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm a guy that stood up and said, hey, do we have hydroxychloroquine in this state, to the governor? The governor says, no, that's not a treatment for that. And so I started making noise on social media, and I even had people on social media that said they were going down.
Yeah.
And I called them and said, don't mess around.
Yeah.
11 to 14% of the people are going to go down because their body overreacts.
Yeah.
Do you want me to make a phone call for you to a doctor that will treat you?
Yeah.
So look, this was all pre-reelection.
Yeah.
I've taken that hard position because I knew it was the right thing to do.
And that's a hard position to take when the rest of America is saying no.
The rest of the world.
Yeah. Well, we were the forefront. Fauci was he was the mouthpiece of the World Health Organization and the CDC, and everybody followed suit with whatever America did. No one really stepped up to take that backpack and that bulletproof vest. America did, and we were governed incorrectly. So it was an amazing position for you to say, just for America, but on a global level. Because there was so much flack, and that shows character, and that shows integrity, and that shows the willingness for you not to bend a knee to the narrative, but to create your own narrative, which is what's the important part of this entire thing, is what do you believe in, right? Don't vote.
Well, look, I'll tell you what I believed in.
Yeah.
I believe that God wouldn't leave us abandoned with some virus.
Yeah.
That I mean, it's just too simple.
Psalm 91.
It's too simple.
Everybody was praying Psalm 91. Everybody was also praying 2 Chronicles. But at the end of the day, we believe in a great God, and we believe in our ability to have cognitive thought and linear thinking, the ability to not be cognitive dissonant and allow other people to wake up through the power of the Holy Spirit, but through our integrity in the way that we walk out and live our life. And I think that you've proven that and shown that. And I think that's tremendous for Wyoming. It's tremendous for America. And so I definitely think that if I was in Wyoming, this would be the guy. This would be the guy for me. So if you want information on anything that Anthony is doing, all of his information, where can they get it? What social media outlets are you on? Not everybody's on all of them. So tell the people, where are you? Where can they find your information?
Well, look, I'm one of the probably first guys that was pushing Facebook way back when.
Yeah.
And although I don't like them, it's a necessary evil. That's where a lot of people
necessary evil. That's why we're on it.
And that said, they can find me there. It's Anthony Bouchard for Congress on Facebook. We also are on Twitter, and we also have some of the other platforms as well. But we're not as prolific because we just can't seem to make it click. That said, it's easier just to go to anthony4wyoming.com.
Anthony4wyoming.com. We will have those links in our metadata below, so if you've been listening and watching on social media, alternatively to the radio, you'll be able to click on that link and get all of his information. It's very important that we stand up for what we believe in, everybody. It's very important that we support those that do, and we have common ground to go in stronger for all things America and obviously all things Christ. So thank you for watching. Again, we apologize for the power outage, but until next time, this is Mr. Bouchard and Shannon Skolton with Voice of Truth. God bless.